morning, Flosstube. I'm Lori, and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Thank you for all my subscribers that come back and visit with me every time I make a video. I always tell you this in the beginning of my videos, that I'm really excited that you do come back and watch me, because there are times when I say, why am I doing this? But then when I read your comments, I'm like, I think they enjoy it. And I am happy to share with you what I work on and what I'm doing. So thank you so much. And any new subscribers, thank you for giving me a try. I'm retired from, I used to be a high school secretary, head secretary to the principal. And that's what I was the last 10 years. I worked in the school district for 18. Prior to that, I was a stay-at-home mom. And I have two grown boys, James and Michael. You'll hear me talk about them at times. Michael's married to Rebecca, and they have a little son, Caleb, who's right now my only grandchild, and he'll be 2 in September. And James, who's my older son, he and Amy have been married just a little over, well, actually it's going to be almost 2 years in November. I forget how time flies. And they're expecting their first child, and Amy's due the beginning of September, same month as Caleb. Maybe, who knows? Maybe she'll go early. You never know. Anyway, I just thought I'd give you a little update in case somebody's new and they don't want to go back and listen to who I am, what I did. And I am married. I think I'm married 42 years to my husband, Sal. And he's the better half of me. He puts up with me. Anyway, so that's me in a nutshell. And it's called Once Upon a Stitch because not only do I cross stitch, in the past I've quilted. I've tried different things, different crafts. I'm not very good at paper crafting, but I had given that a try, and I did little scrapbooks for my kids when they were growing up. But compared to what I see out there, I wouldn't even touch that. But I do like needlework, and I knit. I know how to crochet a little bit. So I do called it Once Upon a Stitch, and that's the thought of it. And actually, Amy, my daughter-in-law, helped me come up with that title. So thank you, Amy. Anyway, back on to what we normally do. I have notes here, and I will probably forget. But I'm going to take my time and tell you and update you on everything that's been going on. Okay, first of all, I'd like to shout out for a friend of mine. She works for the Arc Mid-Hudson, and they're being sponsored by a Realty corporation. And since I don't know how to insert and attach, I just want to show you how easy it is. They need your vote, and the vote is to get some money for that agency that she works for. You don't have to join, you don't have to donate, just a vote, just a click. And what they do is they take care of developmentally disabled children and adults, from mild to severe, and they do total care for them. And so they're trying to win some money for the agency to be able to stock up on the supplies that they need, that they can give to these families that are needed for their family members. So the first thing you're going to do, and I'll write all the things down at the bottom. You're going to search on Facebook, Murphy Realty Group Charity Giveaway. It's the first one there. So you hit on that, and it says $100,000 giveaway. And it says join. No. You just scroll to where it says, was it Marisa Gilbert. And it still says join, but you don't. And they list, and you can see all the list. But the one you're going, if you'd like to, click, is the Arc Mid-Hudson. And that's like our group of friends that have voted. And she also reached out to some Flosstubers to help her agency join. And then all you do is click that button, which you can see it's clicked there because I voted already. And you don't join, you then just get out of it. So I hope you take a minute or two to do that to help the mentally and physically disabled people in this world. Alrighty. Okay, what am I going to talk about next? Well, Amy had her baby shower, and it was a Jack and Jill, which meant that men and women were invited. It was in their backyard, and it was lots of fun. Too much food was ordered, of course. The theme was A League of Their Own, softball. She's expecting a little girl. And let's see. They had a scream truck come, which is an ice cream truck, and you hire it for so many hours. I think it was 2. And the people can go as many times as they want, and soft serve, my favorite. So yeah, it was lots of fun, and she got beautiful gifts. She loved the quilts, and so it was a great day. What else happened? This week I had Caleb Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all day Friday night into Saturday morning. So yeah, I was a bit tired yesterday when he left. You watch them worse than you watch your own children. You worry about them. You don't want anything to happen to him. But he had a little tumble and he got a little scrape on his nose. And of course, Grandma just felt like the world is coming to an end. But that's what little boys are all about. Anyway, so I did do that. I got some you know what? This month of July, I have to tell you that from January to the beginning to July 1st, let's say, I stitched every single day. There wasn't a day that went by. And in July, I must have missed like 5 or 6 days where I didn't do any stitching at all. And you know what? I felt okay about it because I was dead tired. Whether the eyes closed or whatever, I was tired, and I was okay with not being able to stitch. But now, I miss it. So I hope August will let me stitch a little bit more. And so let me move on. Okay, one of the questions that I had was, how am I doing with my goals that I set in the beginning of the year? So I thought what I do is, as I'm showing you what I've been working on, I'll tell you what my goal is and if I met it or not, if there's a possibility that I won't meet it, and we'll move forward from there. Okay, so first I wanted to share with you that Java Girl Stitches, which I'm sure you all watch, has designed a little pattern called Stitch Girl, and she gave it willingly for free to anyone who emailed her to get it. And I thought it was adorable, and here she is. And Christi also did a little witch, which I thought was adorable. She hasn't put that out at all, but she did come up with this one for her giveaway, free giveaway. So if you like it, you can go to her video, and the last one is a tutorial on a pillow, but the one prior to that is when she talks about this, and there's links there of how to get her free pattern. Oh, you email her actually, and she sends it to you in an attachment. Okay, we also had a gift exchange with our stitching group. And since we live in different parts of the States and different countries, we have some up in Canada, we have New York and New Jersey. I think that's it for now. And we did a gift exchange, and I couldn't show you what I was sending because I wanted it to be a surprise, but I took pictures. And of course, like I said, I don't know how to insert, so I'm showing you on my little tablet. This was, what is it? Nice to meet you, EWE, and now I forgot the designer. I'll have to look it up, and I'll put it in the show notes. And let me just make sure I'm going the right way. That was the back of the pillow, and I put some chenille trim around it. So that's my finish that I sent. And we always send a couple of goodies in the bag, in the box to go with it. So I hope Barbara enjoyed it. And my gift was from Kristen, and she made this beautiful, beautiful pouch. Look at that. Fabric in the back. Just gorgeous. And it says, friendship is life's sweetest flower and the year. I think that's gorgeous. And with that, inside the bag, she included the silk floss that she used to stitch it. And she had seen that I was stitching some quilts. So she sent me a charm pack, which you can see I went through already. It's called Toy Chest Penny Rose Studios. I will talk about quilting at the end. Some people were interested in it, so I'll save that to the end. I have a few things to share with you on quilting. So, but thank you, Kristen. I love it. It's gorgeous. Alrighty. A previous finish. This was Hands-On Design, a year of celebration, and this was July. And this is how I swap them out. They're magnet and sheet metal. You could use washers. And I put it here. And I set it on a little quilt that I had made last year at this time, I guess. And I have it displayed downstairs. And I don't have it. I have some summer. I have some beach themed things, and I have the 4th of July. And I keep them all out until towards the end of September. Then I'll take it down and start putting my fall decor out. So let me just put this, reach over here, excuse me. And oops, sorry. I had some finishes. Oh, it's under the book. Okay, I had some new finishes that I shared. When I did Stitch Mania, I did a Christmas themed, and I stitched from the evergreen pattern from Prairie Schooler. I stitched the house and the squirrel, and I started to finish them. Now these were the prior ones that I done last year from the same pattern, and so what's missing is the bow and the bell. Well, I thought I saved the ribbon, and I thought I put it aside so that I can, because I want to do 6 of them, and I can't find it. I can't find the ribbon. Bells are easy. I think I have more bells, and I know I can get them once the Christmas decor is out, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the same ribbon. I have found one little piece that I had made into a bow, and I took it out so I can have one. But the Christmas decorations are not out at all the stores. So I'm going to carry this with me. And as I go into Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, because it's one of them that I had to have bought it at, I will look for it and hopefully get lucky. I guess the worst scenario would be to cut off the 2 that are there and do another ribbon, but fingers crossed. Alrighty. I showed this in my last video. I had finished, this was Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I finished it into a pillow for now. I cut the back open and stuffed it, and I put another piece of fabric over it. So not here, you can see a little piece here. I pinked the fabric so it doesn't wouldn't shred or anything. And fray's the word. I put a ribbon, and then eventually we will put a bow with a snowflake. I'm going to look for snowflakes when, a little charm when the Christmas decor is out. Then I didn't want to stitch the August one they chose, and you're allowed to switch out 2 and choose anything from a prior Christmas book magazine or the same magazine, and I chose the previous magazine, which was the Christmas 2019. And I'm just looking to see if it's on the cover, but it's not. Okay, so I guess only numbers. This is from Nikki's Creation, and it's just a little ornament. And the way I finished it, I did it with a sulky thread. Excuse me. Number 1169. It's almost like a burgundy red. And I used one strand, and I finished it in a hoop with the tassel. Now, it looked real small in the magazine. They probably use a lot smaller fabric. This is a 28 count. 1/2. And that's the back. Excuse me. So I have to post that in the group that I joined to stitch the ornament. The next ornament for for September, actually. That was the August. I always try to work a month ahead. Is this one. It's called St. Lucy's Light. St. Lucy's Light by the Little Stitcher. And that's her. So I'll have to start that and get it done for September. Alrighty. Let's see. This is a little bit of haul. I'll show that later. Now I'm going to share with you what I've been stitching on. So I made my last video at the beginning of July. I guess it was after the 4th of July. I think it was towards the end of the week. I'm not exactly sure. Actually, it was July 10th, and today is August 1st. So I had one more new start, and that was a chatelaine, and it's called Mystery Mandala number 3. And I'm doing it, it calls for silks, but I'm doing it with some dinky dyes, but mostly DMC. And excuse me, I think this might be a little bit easier. And that's where I've gotten to. What's nice about having and what I did was when I started it, I don't know if you can see this thread here, I put a thread in the upper left hand corner so I know that the orientation, so that when I take it off I know how to put it back on the Q-snap, and also when I pick it up to stitch I know which orientation that I have as well. So what I was saying was, what's nice about a 2-day rotation is you get to make progress on a lot of pieces, but you also sometimes forget what you're working, like if you made any changes to it, and if you don't make the notes or write notes to yourself, sometimes it could be difficult. So like with the mandala one, there's like some specialty stitches, some long stitches. So I think I'm going to pick it up in the month of August, because the goal on that one was to do the first round, complete round. So so I want to just keep on track on that one. Okay, next I picked up, because it was also Jolly July for a lot of people, and even though I didn't plan for it, I decided to pick up some Christmas themed. And this is from Abby Rhodes Designs. It's Prim Merry Christmas, primitive. And I finished it. I didn't fully finish it, but I finished stitching it, and I love it. It's so pretty. I mean, I remember when I first saw this, I just loved it. And this is stitched on a piece of Picture This Plus, but I don't know the color. It's 18 count. No. Yeah. Yeah, it's 1/1, so it's 18 count Aida, but I don't know the color. There was no tag on it. It was just in the drawer, and I thought it looked really pretty. So that's a finish. Then this is Strawberry Fields by Blackbird Design. And okay, this is one of the ones that I talked about last year and what my goal was. My goal was to stitch the left side of the border and the wall. And I thought I would, if I got that done in the first year, I would be happy. Well, I did that, I think, in the first 2 days. It really went quickly. And I have a finish. And I pulled this frame, and I think it goes pretty well. It was when I worked at a nursery school, before I started in the school district. The students I guess the parents questioned each of the students and asked them what they liked about me. And I had it here to share a couple because I thought they were really funny. But I don't know where I put it right now. And one of the things that I always loved what they said was, she smiles with her teeth showing. So I thought that was so funny. But anyway, so that's where the frame came. This one I actually didn't lace. I used double-sided acid-free mounting tape that I bought on Amazon. And I'll just put a piece, and it was professionally, because I saved the little corners so that when it hits the wall it won't mark it. I'll put probably a piece of paper to cover the back and write about it. Strawberry Fields, the Beatles. I probably won't do it this year, but the next one I'll pick up, it might be Blackbird in the series. So another finish, which I was thrilled to get done. Okay, throw that down here. The next one I worked on was Blackbird Design Evergreen Lane. And I did not want to do the 1/1 stitching in the box. So, oops, wrong envelope. I recharted it. And since it was the November block, I put James and Amy's name on it. James wed Amy on 11/3, right here. And I have a finish. So I have 3 houses done. The goal on this one was 4 houses this year. So now I'm trying to decide which house I want to do next. Yeah. Okay, then I picked up a Satsuma Street Forest. This was gifted to me from Dee, my friend from my stitching group and retreat. We met at retreat. And the goal on Forest was to complete it. And I did. And I stitched this on 20 count Lugana, ash gray Lugana. And that's the finish on it. Ooh, was it in frame? I don't know. Let's look at it a little higher. I know some people have commented to put it closer to the camera. So I'm trying. Okay. I stitched on a lot. Though I missed so many days, I don't get it. But okay. Maybe I'll save this for last. I might have to stand up again. Then I picked up for Jolly July. Take the copies out. It's easy for me to work with copies. Is Christmas Garden by Blackbird. And my goal for Christmas Garden is this top section of the chart to the first line across. So it was this line and the top. Now I started this in December, so that's why I thought I would make like a large goal for myself that I would get that part done. And I did meet that goal. this time I went below the line because I met that goal the last month that I stitched it. I got a little thread there. I'm stitching this on a 28 count platinum Lugana, and that's the section that I did. I'm using the call for colors, so it goes from, what was it called, Fool's Gold. It goes from a light to a tan to egg crew maybe. So in real life you can see it. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but yeah, it only calls for 4 colors for the whole thing. And I always thought I'd do it in a darker red and stuff, but I'm always afraid to change colors because I don't want it to look too garish. So I try to stick to the colors when it comes to Blackbird. And so I hit that goal. Then it was Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street, and that's the pattern. And the goal was that was to do the top border and the left down the side. So I did do that. I finally went across to the top of the border. This was done the last time you saw it, and I had stopped about here. Am I in frame? Yeah. So I stitched the rest of the border to the end, and then I stitched, I'm going to call it a tree with the 5 little lambs. So I found the bottom of the piece, and I found the end of the piece, the width. So I don't know if I'm in camera, but if you want a closer look of it. So this will take me time to complete. It's a lot of stitching. The house is huge. The grass underneath it is dense. In case you want to see it again. Yeah, lots of dense stitching in here. The house is huge. It's a beautiful piece, and I really enjoy stitching on it. So I hit my goal on that. Now there were goals that I made, and these goals were originally to be for WIPCO. But I didn't really know if, at that time, I didn't have 25 WIPCO pieces, and I didn't know about starting new things, so I didn't participate. And then when I thought I was going to participate in the upcoming year, I heard Jessie Marie wasn't going to be hosting WIPCO anymore. But, so that's where these goals came from. So those were the original goals that I had set. And then I have a chart that's right here, and I write down what months I'm going to stitch on certain projects. And then I went and I made a bold move, and I made little red stars on projects that I would like to complete by the end of the year. And I don't know if I'm going to hit all of them, but when we get closer to the end of the year, I'll share that with you. The next one I worked on was Templar Prophecy. And this is the pattern. It's by Long Dog Samplers. And the goal was, because I stitched 6 pages the first year, I thought I'd stitch 6 pages the second year. So that would be pages 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I just finished page 11. And that's this bottom page. I hit the bottom of the border, and I have 4 pages left to complete this project. And so within the next, let's see, August, September, October, November, 5 months, which I should, in three months I should finish the next page. It all depends how much stitching, like some places, like there's more white showing, so that was a quicker page than something that was more densely covered. So it's at least 5 to 6 days on a page, I would guess, stitching. So I plan on meeting my goal on that one, not yet. So this is where I just finished here. So this is the next section right here. So it's 4, this is broken up into 4 pages. And I always try to stitch on Templar where I'll have 2 solid, really good days of stitching, like a Saturday, Sunday, or a Sunday, Monday. Those are my really good days of stitching, like during the day too. I can get some stitching in. Okay, this one is the Frosted Pumpkin, Once Upon a Time. I was going to say a stitch. Once Upon a Time. And let's see, Frosted Pumpkin, the goal was June, July, and September. And so I didn't do it yet. I'm trying to figure out what I did. June. Oh yeah, I did do June. June, July is what I worked on this go around. I had just had her head done, so I did the basket, the lily pad, and started the water. So I still have fish to add and some other motifs I can't remember off the top of my head. A bird. Oh, there's a bird here, and looks like a mouse. Yeah. So I have June, July, and September. So I got June and September done, and July is the next one, and then hopefully next year I'll have this done. And close. This is fun to stitch, but it's also annoying because it's like 5 stitches of one color, 3 stitches of another color, 7 stitches of another. So you're constantly changing threads. So though it's fun, it's time consuming for me. But I enjoy it just the same. It's just slower going. Okay, next I picked up Autumn in the Village by Stoney Creek. And the goal at WIPCO, for the WIPCO, was everything left of the needlepoint store. And I got to tell you that on this chart here, I started for finish this year. I don't think so, but you never know. Never say never. And this was like one of the days that I got very little stitching done. So here's the needlepoint store. So I have to finish the tree yet, but I went on to do the lamppost and the pumpkin cart actually. I didn't finish the spokes in the wheel. I have all the outlining to do on these 2 things. I had to bring the sidewalk out further. So I think I should be able to do that in the next 2-day rotation. You know, this is also somewhat confetti because of the patterns in it, but it is beautiful and I love it. So I have this house to complete and then 2 more houses. So when I pick it up, I always say, oh, I really like this. I got to work on this. And then when I have a choice of this and something else, I say, oh, well, I can get more done on that one. Bad move. I want to see this done. I love it. Oops, this one. Okay. Next. Oh, this pattern was a gift from my friend Tonia, and it's Brenda Gervais word play, and it's the September block. And I finished it. I did a lot of it when Caleb's napping in the afternoon. I don't think I worked on it like at night. I do it when he was sleeping in the afternoon. So this was not really part of a plan of any sort. She gave me the pattern and I just decided I wanted to do it. Since Caleb and my new grandchild may be born in September, I thought I'd start with September. So I finished it. The only thing I call for colors. I didn't have buttermilk for the house, so I used 3823 DMC. And for the shaker white, I used porcelain. And the other thing that I changed was, it said autumn down here, but I decided to put arts. And there's like some other doohickey thing here. And that could be, what do you call that? Performing arts, arts in actual art, drawing, painting. It could be music. So I just thought I'd put arts instead of autumn. But the rest is as charted. So that was another finish this month. And I think what I'm going to do, I know some people don't like sharing how they might finish it, but I thought I'd share. I think I'm going to make this a flat, soft, flat finish with some ribbon and tie it maybe onto maybe a candle base, like of some sort. I don't know, but or a vase. I haven't decided, but I think I want to do a flat with a ribbon tie. So I know a Lost and Floss has a like a stand-up type of frame that she ties the corners to and hangs it there and swaps them out every month. I've seen Mama Loves You GB tie it around the spool that she had made purposely for a finish that she wanted. Like she was able to get the spool thicker, wider, however you want to refer to it. And the final project that I worked on was the Prairie Schooler, the tortoise and the hare. And the goal on this one was the top third of the pattern. So I think I'm close to it, but like this is basically full coverage, except there's a path in there. The path is not stitched at all, but the sky is, though you can't see it in there. So I don't know, I might probably have to bring it down to about here, the whole thing. What I've stitched since you've last seen it was from here all the way down. I finished the tree and the grass under it. I put in the flowers, the start of this tree, and I put in this and brought this down further. Though I would have loved to have continued working on this. Today is August 1st, and I have 2 new starts this month scheduled. So you'll have to stick with me till the next video to see what they are. In case you hadn't been taking notes last November or December, I shared with you what my plans were for the upcoming year, and I gave it to you month by month. I just want to share this with you. This is from my friend Kathy to Dye House. She made the group a bunch of thread catchers and a charm. And what I love about this is because we're from the United States and Canada, she included some leaves that could be considered Canada. But then she also found, which I love when I hear them say it, is that how you guys say it? Anyway, maple syrup. So I think this is so awesome that Kathy took the time to do this for us. Thank you, Kathy. Love you. Okay, just a very little bit of haul, and then I'm going to tell you about my quilting. And I know not everybody wants to see it, so that's why I save it for the end. Okay, I purchased a 2-pack of ball tip needles. I like them. The only thing is I wish they came in petites, but I enjoy using them. I picked up a Weeks Dye Works of Wasabi for Forever and Ever by Cottage Garden Sampling. I haven't picked that up in a couple of months, I think. Then I picked up this pattern from Mani di Donna, Bless Our Land, and you can make it into a little sewing kit. So I saw it finished at the store, and I really liked it. And there was another one that I went back to get, and they were already sold out of it. And then I asked them to cut me a piece of fabric. I forgot the length and width of it, but it's 28 count ivory Lugana, and it's supposed to be for this one. Quaker Christmas 2, Songs of the Season by Bygone Stitches. I'm just going to what do you call it? Put it together. Sometimes the words, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it'll come to me after I finish the video. Kit it up. I'm going to kit it up. That's what I'm going to do. It calls for 2 threads. They're general art threads, but I don't think I'm going to use them. I'm going to either do the Valdanis or DMC in one of the colors that I like. It calls for currant and blue spruce, 2/2. So I think I would need a lot of thread. So that's why I think I'm going to do it in DMC or Valdani. But I think I'm leaning more towards DMC because I like the two strands actually. I like starting with 2 strands, and I don't mind stitching with 2 strands. Okay, and that's all I got this time. All right, so on to quilting. And for those of you that are leaving me now, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed what you see. Plan to see you like mid-August. New starts, some WIPS, maybe some FFOs. You never know. Take care, guys. And now on to quilting. Excuse me as I reach to get my things. Oh, you see these blocks right here? These are the ones that Priscilla and Chelsea show that they picked up at Michael's, and they put their finishes there. And these were originally, here it is. They were originally $4.99. I got them for 70% off. So was it, I think, $1.50? I don't remember off the top of my head. But, and they just mount it right here. And so I picked up 5. Okay. The last time we were together, I explained to you how to put this together. And this is Calico Confectionery. Once in a Blue Moon. It was gifted to me by my friend Helen, and she gave it to each of the members of our group, and she gave us the whole story behind it of how often a Once in a Blue Moon appears, and we were starting it on the day of the last blue moon. So I finished it into a little quilt, and then I had the measurements here. I think it's 8.5 by 3.5. I cut this piece of fabric. And what I did was I turned down the inside twice. So I had a clean finish. So I folded it down again. And then I stitched it. And then right sides together, I stitched down the side to close it. I pressed the seam open. And the next step now, which is too time consuming to do on here, is that I will bring it inside out or right side out, and I will hand stitch this. Now, of course, it's going to be the right side out showing, so it'll blend. I will stitch this at the top, hand stitch, not machine stitch. I will hand stitch this at the top and at the bottom. So you know what, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'll have it done by the next time you see me. And yeah, it's those little things that you put off that don't get you to finish the project. But if you put yourself out there and say, well, I'm going to do this by the next time we're together, then that means I have to have it done. So as you can see, I'm starting to turn this right side out. Anyway, okay, so that's going to be done. Now I don't know if you've all seen what's been out there, but a lot of people are starting to make quilt videos who have been cross-stitching, but they've been quilting for like longer than they've been cross-stitching, some of them. And some of them are new, and they're explaining you how they do their things. So let me think. It's Olivia B, and which her name is Olivia, and Lori, Textilelust. I'll put both their channels below. And they are sharing with you how to put together, I think it's a Blackbird. They're going to choose a Blackbird pattern. And they've been telling you different supplies that you might need and different ways to do things. So I just thought I'd show you some finished not totally finished, but finished projects that I've worked on in the past that shows you what they're referring to. So this is the quilt that I made, and this was all hand pieced, and I'll show you what I mean by that as well. So this is the project, and I didn't quilt it now. And hand pieced is here. I'll show you this flower in particular. If you look, you can see the stitches that I did. And when you hand piece, you mark the line where you would normally sew on, and then you add 1/4 of an inch where your cutting line is. And so you stitch on the sewing line. So it's time consuming. You have to manually mark each triangle, square, whatever, and then add 1/4 of an inch, cut it out, and then hand sew it. So that is a hand pieced block. Now, this piece here, I used needle turn. So what you do is you get, you mark the line, and then as you're hand stitching it, you're turning the fabric. So I don't know if you can see the stitches well, but it was needle turn stitched. But you can see some of the stitches in the back. Then this one where you see it, where you might think it's cut accidentally, this was freezer paper. You made a template. And these were different techniques that I took a class, like when I was just starting. It was hand piecing, because that's what I did first. I felt that I didn't have control on a machine, so I would hand piece everything. So the techniques that I learned in that hand piecing, I put into this. So I used freezer paper, and then with the freezer paper, I stitched it around, but then you had to get the freezer paper out of here. So you would make a slit in the back, and you'd pull out the freezer paper. So that was, those are the two techniques of applique that I did on this particular quilt. One of these days I will complete it. And then another one, like again, because I was not proficient on a machine, I hand stitched the inside of these triangles. Now I say the inside because this green section out here, I pieced on a machine. But these triangles were, diamonds were all stitched by hand and then pressed in different directions. So here's the front of it. I have threads on it. And then I did use a machine and sew the outside. Sometimes I amaze myself with what I did. I don't think I would have tried it now. But the pattern from this then also called for a bird, a cardinal to be maybe with a branch and some holly leaves. And I kind of got burnt out after doing this, and I stopped and I just put it away. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this next. But So those are some previous finishes, but not FFOs. And then I watched Elizabethanncanstitch, and Liz made a quilt for her nephew, Ben. Well, it just blew me away, and I said, oh, I love it. She ran over some fabrics that she used in it. It was like, I forget what you call it. You use all different kinds of blocks, like a sampler type of. She used Charm Square pack, and she told us which one she used. I bought a couple, and I'm trying it as well. So I bought Lori Holt's Spelling Bee, and when I saw this, I originally said, I don't think I want that book. I like a lot of her other books, but when I saw like the possibilities for quilts and things from this, I loved it. The only thing is, I have to pay attention to, like it's the same thing with cross stitch, whether you do it on a 14 count, 28 count, or an 18 count, how much the sizes vary. So I decided to do Caleb's name in the 12-inch blocks, and then I think it calls, now I'm going by what Liz said, you get your charm packs, but you cut them down to 4.5 inch instead of leaving them at 5.5. She left them at 5.5, and I thought that was a great idea, so I left mine at 5.5. I had to make it wider because I did the 12-inch blocks instead of maybe a capital and all lowercase. I did all capitals. And so yeah, now I have to make everything fit. So I laid it out. But, like I wanted it to represent Caleb as well. So I chose some fabrics that had like airplanes and cars, and then I chose some fabrics that had animals, little animals like ducks, and because this is what we do all day long. We talk of animals and cars and trains and airplanes. So excuse me. I used what Kristen sent me. I opened that pack too. But in addition, I also used On the Go, which is Moda. And now these are all open. I don't remember all the fabrics because I put them in a big pile practically. And then, yeah. So I also used in there, which I bought 2 of these, 30s Playtime. I used some from in here. I used some from the flea market, which those are some of the fabrics. I used some from, and I purchased this all from the Fat Quarter Shop. That's what this box is. Red, White, and Bloom. And then I opened up this one. I picked out some of them. I don't know. It's called 30s Playtime from Chloe's Closet, Moda. And then, which I did not include, is I bought 2 charm packs for Christmas. And this is called Farmhouse Christmas Riley Blake. And here are some of the fabrics that is included in there. And then I purchased 2 yards of Fat Quarter Shop. And I think this is Priscilla's Pretty Plaids. I don't think this is enough fabric. I was planning to use it for the back of the for the quilt, but I think because I did the name so big and the quilt's going to be larger than I anticipated, I don't think that piece of fabric will fit, but it'll be used in the next quilt. So I have been quilting a little bit in the middle of everything else, and I will share that quilt in the next video. Hopefully the top will be just pieced together. And then I just want to show you some magazines that my friend Alva gave me, because she saw I was quilting again. She goes, oh, I think you might like these. So it's an Australian Quilter's Companion, and it's heavy, and it's great paper. I haven't gone through them yet, because when you go through something, you see something. So she gave me 2. And this one is could be done in wools, felt, Maybe it is. It could be also done in fabrics. So this is Australian Homespun, Quilter's Companion and Homespun. And they're beautiful magazines. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stuck with me to the end. It's been a lot of fun sharing with you. Hopefully I'll be back around the 15th of August and show you my progress on everything. Until next time, guys, take care, stay well, love you, bye.